Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Zoom session, C++ inp1501. It's a beautiful sunny Saturday, and I'm so happy that so many of you have joined me for today. All right, so I think I have somebody from Rustenburg in the house. Is anybody from Rustenburg here?
Yes, I am.
Yes, hello. Is that Lonwabo?
Yes, sir.
How's the weather like in Rustenburg, Lonwabo?
It's sunny this side.
Ah, just like Durban, just like Durban. Good to know. Lonwabo, how's it going with assignment 2?
Um, I tried answering question 1, but I had problems. So like I was like studying using my study guide, and then
Mhm.
um I'm a I'm a bit behind, So I wanted
Okay.
to like pick up first.
Have you
So
submitted assignment 1, assessment 1?
yes, I did.
Good, 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 good. Now, assignment 1, once it's over and done, and you start with assignment 2, whatever you did in assignment 1, you can't forget about it, right? Because what you did in assignment 1, you need to apply in assignment 2. Okay, Lonwabo? All right.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you are having difficulty with assignment 2, sometimes you may have to go back to assignment 1, what happened, in certain concepts that you have. But today I'm going to take off from last week's work. And last week we spoke about, I helped you with this question out here. It spoke about functions, right? Functions. Question 3, write a function that returns the cube of the integer passed to it. For example, if I had to have cube 2 will return 8 and cube 3 will return 27. All right. And it also says you do not need to submit programs that use these functions. Now, functions learnable is very important, right? Because in terms of programming and modular programming, we tend to work in functions. We break up a big problem into smaller little code, smaller functions to work with. And this is what assignment 2 is all about. So, Lanwabu, did you watch my video from last week, the one about fun with functions and cube of a number? Lanwabu?
Oh yes. Oh no, I haven't watched it, sir. I'm sorry, sir. The reason why I joined today, I would like to your advice on
Yes.
something, or like yes, on lesson 4 on the study guide. I was doing that, and then um there's a question on like exercise 4.2. I think yeah, it's 4.2.
Yes. Okay, let me just open up the study
Yeah.
guide, Lanwabu. All right. Okay, so I can see the study guide out here. All right, Lanwabu, just give me a second. I'm opening up the study guide, lesson 4 you wanted, huh? File, open, desktop, 1501. Okay, Lanwabo. Right, so lesson 4. What page is that, Lanwabo? Right, so I'm in lesson 4, Lanwabo. Talk to me, Lanwabo. Am I pronouncing your name correctly, by the way?
Yes, sir. Yes, you
Okay,
are.
great.
On exercise 4.2, I would like your advice on how you approach such problems, because um it really like confused me when I tried
Okay.
to like.
Sam has a small business which does packaging and posting. Clients come to him with a number of items and he has to pack them into boxes before posting them to some customer of theirs. He works as follows. He packs as many items in a box as he can and then calculates how many boxes he will need and how many items will be left over. That will not fit into the box. Write a program to input a number of items and a number of items that fit in a box. The program should calculate how many boxes will be needed and how many items will be left over. All Right, so this is a typical computer science program, and I'm going to copy that into code blocks, right? So let's open it up into code blocks. Let's open up a new project, file new project. I hope the others are all right with this. I'm going back to lesson 4 because Lonwabo reads lesson 4. Lonwabo, right? Lesson 4. Now, Lonwabo, for you to answer this question, you need to have known, lessons 1, 2, 3 quite well, right? Lonwabo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's copy that question. I'm putting it as a comment so that I can see it on the top of there. And so Sam has a small business. I'm just going to close that side. And I've just made my life a little bit easier, Lonwabo, by copying the question into code blocks, right, as a comment statement. And it says, so Lonwabo, in order to answer this program, I'm going to teach you a little strategy, right? It's called IPO, input, processing, and output. So this question, Lonwabo, deals with the number of boxes, and it comes after lesson 3, where they were talking about mathematics functions, right?
Yes, sir.
So it says, write a program to input number of items and the number of items that will fit, right? I think it comes up. So immediately, without knowing anything about this program, what to do, you start with saying what goes into the program. It says, write a program to input a number of items. So I'm going to start by saying, hey, I want to write a program using the method that my teacher, which is me, showed me how to do, right? So let's just run Lonwabo's program. Let's compile it and see if it works. It kind of works. And I run the program. Hello world, right? It works. It works, right? So the program works. I'm happy with that, Lonwabo. So now it says, this is what you're going to do. Lonwabo, you type the word input. Right, Lonwabo? You type
Yes,
the
sir.
word processing. And you type the word output. Right? I teach my students this, and it works. It works quite nicely, right? So now you're a programmer, and you read the question again. It says, write a program to input a number of items. So you're going to say under here, what do you want to put in? You're going to say C in number of items, right, Lonwabo? Because that's what the question says, right? It says,
Yes.
write a program
Yes.
to input a number of items and a number of items that should fit in a box. It also says C in number of items fit in box. So Lonwabo, when you are answering questions in terms of programming, it's always nice, and you're starting off, it's always nice to kind of, take a concrete example. So let's just say I have 30 items, right? Number of items that I have is 30. And the number of items that will fit in a box is 7. Lonwabo, you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Right. So now, how many boxes will I need, Lonwabo? I've got 30 items.
7.
I've got 30 items,
Okay.
right? I've got 30 items. And I'm telling you that 7 will fit in a box.
You're gonna need like 4 boxes, and then there'll be like I think, yeah.
And how many is remainder? Lonwabo, how many remaining? Lonwabo, you with me? Hello, Lonwabo.
Yes, sir. I have a network problem. All right, sir. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, right? So Lenovo, if I have 30 items and 7 can fit in a box, you've told me correctly that the output is going to be 4, right? So I need 4 boxes and 2 will be remaining. Correct, Lenovo?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, Lenovo, make this a rule. Whenever you have a C in statement, above that you must have a C out statement. So you're going to say, please, always be polite to Lenovo. Or if you want to be even extra more polite, say, pretty please enter in number of items, right? Okay, Lenovo, are you with me? You still with me?
Yes, I'm still with you.
Right. So make it another rule. If I'm going to have a C in statement, I'm going to have a C out statement that says pretty please enter number of items that will fit in a box. Right, Lenovo?
Yes.
Okay. So this is all in my input statements, right? I know a C out is an output statement, but think of it as I can't let it flash for nothing, no odd reason. So Lenovo, let's compile this program. And it says, oh, there's a mistake here, Lenovo. What's the mistake? The mistake is, oh, I haven't declared a number of items, Lenovo. Lenovo, do you see my mistake here? It says
Yes, sir. Yes,
number
sir.
of items was not declared, right? So I need to declare that. And I think you know how to do that now, Lenovo.
Yes, I do.
Right. So let's go here. And what are we going to say? Int
Number
number
of item.
number of items. And also let's declare the other one as well. Number of items that fit in the box. Number items fit in box. Okay, Lenovo, you with me so far?
Yes, I'm with you.
All right, let's run this program. So you run the program. Please, pretty please enter in the number of items. We got 30 because you came up with that idea. And pretty please enter the number of items that will fit in a box. And you told me it's 7. Are you happy with that, Lenovo?
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to press enter. Oh, it doesn't do anything. That's okay. That's okay. So now that you've done this part over here, you've got the input part. The processing is always difficult, Lenovo, right? So I'm going to just jump to the output part, right? I'm just going to say C out the number of items. Because you're starting programming for the first time, it's nice to do it like this, right? Is, and you put on inline, right? And then you just display the number of items. Number of items. Right, Lenovo? Are you okay with me, Lenovo?
Yes, yes, I'm still
Let's
with you,
compile the
sir.
program, Lenovo. And now it says, let's run the program. Pretty please enter in the number of items. Give me a number between 29 and 31. Any number.
30.
30. Please enter the number of items that will fit in the box. How many items will fit in the box? 7, right?
Yes.
Right. The number of items is 30. Yay, that's fine. Now let's go and display the number of items that will fit in the box. Control C, I'm just copying it quickly. Control V. Look, the number of items that fits in a box is, and I'm going to say number of items fit in box. Let's run the program again. Let's compile it, build and run it. Give you the number of items that, again, you have, Lenovo.
It's 30 items.
30 items. How many fits in a box?
7.
7, right? The number of items is 30. The number of items fits in a box is 7. Hey, Lenovo, can you see how I worked out this problem without even doing any processing whatsoever? Okay, Lenovo,
Yes.
right? Now I go back and read the question. It says, he packs as many items in the box as he can, then calculates how many boxes he will need. So Lenovo, now you do the processing part. So you take that number 30 that you have, right, Lenovo?
Yes.
Right. So how? So you want to know number of boxes, right? Lenovo, you make it a comment statement
Yes.
is equal to. What did you take? How did you get 4 boxes and remaining 2, Lenovo?
We said that the number of items that fit in a box, it's 7, so it's 7 times I said like 30 divided by 7, and then it gave me
Okay,
4
stop
remainder.
there. You said 30 divided by 7, right?
Yes.
Correct, Lenovo?
Yes.
Right, Lenovo. So now you're going to write a number of boxes is equal to. Where did you get 30 from, Lenovo? What variable holds 30?
It's the number of like all items that
Right. No,
that,
I never said all. Just read what I got on the screen there.
oh, it's the number of items.
Stop. So I'm going to say number of items. Then I got the division sign. Where did I get the number 7 from, Lenovo? What variable will I start in?
The number of items that fit in the box.
Right, correct. So I write down here, number of items fit in box. Right, Lenovo? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So without running the program, you know that what is going to come out in this answer here, number of boxes. 30 divided by 7 is?
It's 4.
Correct. Stop there, right? Stop there. Now, Lenovo, I need to declare this variable, right? Number of boxes, because I'm using it. Okay.
All right.
Right. So let's go to the top. Now I'm going to say int number of boxes. Right. Right, Lenovo?
Yes.
Lenovo, you with me?
Yes, I'm with you, sir.
All right. Now, good. So Lenovo, now that I've done a computation or a processing, I go to my output statement, right? And I put down Cout, and I want to display this variable here, number of boxes, right, Lenovo?
Yes, sir.
So I copy that when I'm lazy to type, and I paste it in, right? Right. So
Okay.
right, but it's also nice to put down a statement about it, to say what it means, right? So Cout the number of boxes required is, and it's going to display it in the next line, right, Lenovo? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Let's put it on a new line. Let's run this program, Lenovo. And build and run. Please enter in the number of items. Lenovo, give me your number of items that you're thinking of and I'm thinking of.
30 items.
30 items. How many can fit in a box, Lenovo?
7 items.
Right. The number of items is 7. The number of items that fit in the box is 4. The number of boxes required is 4. Yay! Lenovo, we should be clapping now. Come on, Lenovo, it's working.
Yes, I am,
Right.
sir. Thank you.
But I haven't finished as yet now, right, Lenovo? I need to know how many will be left over. Right? I need to know how much will be left over, right? Because they also say, calculate how many boxes will be needed and how many items will be left over. Right? Then Marble. So in order to do the leftover boxes, I could do it in 2 ways. I can take 4 times 7, and then I can subtract it from 30, or I can use a mathematical formula that they have, right? Leftover is equal to the number items modulus. There's the modulus function that you need to have learned, right? By the number of items that will fit in a box. All right. So it's going to take number of boxes, which is let's go to the top, number of items, which is 30 modulus 7, right? So over here, I'm going to say left over is equal to 30 modulus 7. You make that a comment, right, Lenovo? Okay.
Yes, sir.
And then where does 30 come from, Lenovo?
That's the number of items.
Correct. Where does 7 come from?
That's the number of items that fit in box.
The number of items fit in box, right? Now that I've got the processing, I need to go and see out the statement, right? I'm going to say see out the number of items left over is and what am I going to see out on display on the screen? Leftover.
That's leftover is
right. And because I use that variable, I got to go and declare it, right?
Yes. So I was
okay.
About to say that.
You're about to say great. I'm just going a little bit faster because there's other people on the call and they want to also work on what they have, right? So let's go and build and run this program. So Lenovo, give me the number of items that you have.
30.
How many fit in a box?
7.
Right, there we go. The number of items that fits in a box is 4. The number of items left over is 2. Lenovo, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Give me a clap, Lenovo.
No, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Right. Okay, thank you. That was Lenovo's question from lesson 4. Okay, so this method, Lenovo, will work for any programming task that you have where you apply input, processing, output, and you apply, this is the concrete operational phase, of concretizing the work, right? How you get it. If you follow my method, you won't have a problem. I guarantee you that, right? Okay, Lenovo? Right, but Lenovo, you have to learn what happens in lesson 1, 2, and 3. You see, Lenovo, I knew what was modulus, I knew the division, I knew the integers, I knew the C out, I knew the C in. Okay, Lenovo?
Yes.
Right. Thank you, Lenovo. Let me ask is there anybody else with a question? Anyone else with a question? Otherwise, Lenovo is going to dominate the entire Zoom lesson. Talk to me. Anybody with a question? Assignment 1, 2, 3, 4. No, assignment 1, 2. Okay, Lenovo, let's test the program again while we're waiting for someone to ask a question. Right, Lenovo? It's always a good idea to test the program with other test data as well. Right? Lenovo?
Yes,
Lenovo, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right. So Lenovo, nobody has a question. Let's go and, why do they call it Sam? Let's say Lenovo. Lenovo has a small business which does packaging and posting, right? How's that, Lenovo? Do you like that? Who's Sam? We don't know who's Sam.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else with a question? Come on, anyone. Lenovo is going to take over a business now. He's got a small business.
Hello, Mr. Governor.
Hey, Henrik, is that you?
Yes, it is indeed. How are you?
Oh, why didn't you say hello? How are you? And greet me the more as soon as you came, because we started the recording without you.
I didn't want to interrupt you. I arrived a
No,
minute or two late.
no. Great, great. What do you think about my idea of using this input processing output strategy, Henrik?
I think it's very tidy, very neat.
Right, thank you. And what else do you think about me taking a concrete example like the number 30 and the number 7, and then finding out the variable name and working with it? What do you think of that?
I think that actually turned out quite nicely. It's very nice step-by-step procedural, very nice.
Thank you. It'll work for lots of other programs as well, right? You start with input, processing, output. You don't have to worry about what happens in the processing. You just take it from the question and you can get the answer from there. Right, Henrik?
Yeah.
We can even do it for
Yeah,
last
that's
week's
simple
one
as
as
well.
well. Yeah, right? So thank you for that comment, Henrik. Right. Do you have any questions or queries for me, Henrik?
Well, I was wondering if you could maybe go over question 1 in assignment 2 for us, just for a bit of practice.
Sure. Let's look at assignment. I don't know the answer, but I'll help you with what's required, right? So,
Thank you.
all right, so great. Let's look at question 1. It says, write a function headers for functions described below. The function check has 2 parameters. The first parameter should be an integer number, and the second parameter is a floating point number. The function returns no value. Oh, okay. So now they're telling me that, listen here, I need to worry about functions, right? I'm going to work on functions. Now that we're just in Lewabo's number, I'm going to take that and make a function out of it. Henrik, what do you think about that? Right?
Okay, that sounds fine.
So I'm going to do that, right? So I'm going to show you, and I'll take one variable, and we can, if you can do it for 1, you can obviously do it for 2, all right? So this program has no functions in it, right? This was assignment 1. But in assignment 2, as Hendrik has pointed out, we need to have functions in there. So there's this one here about input. I'm going to take this one, this thing here called input, and I'm going to make a function out of it. Now, functions, Hendrik, comes above the main program, right? So I'm going to call this function, I'm going to call this function a readIn, right? ReadIn, and it has, they tell me 2 parameters. Right now, I'm not sure what the parameters are. I'm just going to work with, this is what I did. In fact, in presenting it, I worked with, it says nothing outcome, so it's a void function, right? So I'm going to say void, and I'm going to say 2 parameters, and I'm going to start up my program, and I'm going to say, pretty please enter in the 2, right? So Control X, I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to put that into my function, Control V, right? So there we go. Hendrik has asked me a question, and it says I've written a little function called readIn, and I'm just going to show you how I take today's program and I'm making it into a function. So where I have the word pretty please enter in a number of items, I'm going to call readIn, right? readIn, because it's a void function. It's not going to output anything. It's simply going to display the words pretty please enter in a number of items. So if I'm reading my program, it's got line number 28, main function, number of items fit in the box, number of items, a box left over, and here's my input, right? So I'm going to call it readIn, and it so happens in the next line, I'm calling it number of items. Let's go and compile this program. Let's see if it works. Let's go to view, go to my logs. And Hendrik, it says it's fine, no hassle. It says the statement is a reference, no call to a function. Okay, I haven't called that function. Let's run the program, and it says readIn, and it's not displaying anything. What's the matter? Cout, I'm calling it in readIn. Let me go to my other function, void display. Yep. All right, so let's go to readIn. Please enter in a number of items. Build and run it. Henrik. It's
Yes,
supposed to
Mr. Governor.
it's supposed to display pretty please. I've done this program. I knew someone will ask me a question like this. So I've done the program here and I'm calling it display, right? I just want to show you what I've taken from last week's number. There we go. I've got display and the function. And I'm displaying it here. Let's go and let's just pass across. Void read in. I'm going to pass across number of items. I just want to show you on this function, and then I'll take one there. All right, number of items, and because I'm passing it across here, number of items. Let's see if this will help. It sometimes likes to have in number of items, and let's look at my function there, and it's got right. Just give me a second, compile it, and it says void number of items. Int needs an int there. I'm just passing across a parameter, and it says it doesn't like that semicolon, and it says go and run it. Right. Okay, there we go. There it's working. It didn't like that without it, right? So let me tell you what has happened here, right, Henrik? So
Yes, Mr. Governor.
in this program, I've taken function. I've created a function called reading, and I have one parameter, int number of items, right?
Yes.
So my assignment question says, write a function check that has two parameters. The first parameter should be an integer, and the second parameter should be a floating. The function returns no value. When it says no value, it's a void function, right? So it's no value. Can you see I'm not returning anything here? And I'm actually calling it a void function as well. This is void. So it's got number of items, and the next one they want it to be is a
floating point.
Floating. So I'm going to say float. And it so happens that in my example that Lenovo has, I need to pass in the number of items that fits in a box. So there we go. So this is how I've got a function name, Control X, and I'm going to pass it as a Control V. Now, if I'm passing it across as two parameters, I need to go and use it inside the function, right? And it so happens that I've got the lines out here. Control X and Control V. There we go, right? So now I ask for what's the number of items? Number of items that fits in the box. So I'm going to take out that. I can leave that as well. This is help you. There's 30 there. So let's see if I've answered the question. It says, I'm not answering the assignment questions, Henrik. It says write a function check that has two parameters. So I've got a function. I've called it reading. It's got two parameters, and it so happens in my case I've got parameters number of items and the number of items that fits in the box. And then it says the first should be an integer and the second should be a floating point. Okay, so there's a floating point. But in my case, I want to keep both of them integer. You can make them float if you like, right? Okay, Henrik?
Okay.
Right, great. So there's my function. Now let's see if it works. Right, so read in number of items, and I've got to have number of items that fit in a box. So I've taken the same program, and I've now done read in, right? There's my, right? So same program. Let's just make it a little bit smaller so we can see it. Environment. So you can see all of them. Oops, shouldn't have done that. So this takes, I've done the program from lesson 4, where they spoke about no functions. And now I've spoken about, I just want to set this. I just want to change the text. It's a bit too large for me. I'm using my TV screen as a monitor. So it's looking rather big. And I'm going to say, all right. Is that smaller?
It does look a bit smaller, yes.
It does look a bit smaller. Let's try and make it a little bit more smaller than that, right? Settings, editor. So more items fit on the screen. More items fit on the screen. Got the pun?
Oh, yes.
All right. So far, Hendrik, you know the name of the function. Mine is called readin. You will have to write something called check. And you've got 2 parameters. And the 2 parameters that you have, let's make it 18. So maybe we can see more on the screen. Oops. But save it. No. Right, so let's go back. Let's go back to 18. Okay. And okay. There we go. Is that better, Hendrik? You can see more of it.
Yes, that's very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, right. So there we go. Right. So let's go back to what my function is. A void function. It's not giving me anything as an output. I don't have a return out here, and it's got 2 parameters: number of items and number of items it fits in a box. So I want to see whether this program still works. Let's go and compile it. Oops, what's the mistake here? What's the error? Error expected initialized before token. Let's look at that one. And number. Using std standard. Too many arguments in function void. 1 argument there, 1 argument there. Number of items that fits in the box. Right. Okay. Sorry, I should have had a comma there, right? Let's run the program. It's a comma, not a. So pretty please enter in the number of items. Hendrik, look at that, Hendrik. It runs the program. It runs line number 25, right? Hendrik, again, I'm use my value of 30, which Lawabo worked with. It runs line number 27. Please enter in the value number of items it fits in the box, which is 7. And look at that, Hendrik. It doesn't give me the right answer.
I see this, yes.
You see this? Look at that. The number of items is 4,003. Oh, what is it? 435,000. Oh my God. Oh my word. This is too much. This is too much. Do you know why it does that, Hendrik?
I'm not sure, Mr. Governor.
Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can sort this out, right? Let's see if I'm worth my sorted finger. A simple way to do this is to make this into a reference parameter. So I put on a little ampersand in front of it. Put a little ampersand in front of it. So what happens is it returns the value, right? So it comes out here and it should give me the right answer. Right? It should. I don't know. Let's run the program. Let's run the program and build and run. Again, how many items, Hendrik?
30 items.
30. How many will fit in a box?
7.
7. Wow. Check it out.
And there we go.
There we go.
All sorted.
All sorted. All sorted. Oh, I can't spell number over here. The NUMBER. All right. You didn't pick that up. Come on, Hendrik. Okay. Right. Can you see what this little ampersand does? This and sign, right? It makes it into a reference parameter. So, Henrik, you have to work out whether they need that in this question or not, right?
Okay.
The assignment question. Now, oh, look at this. This helps you with the next one. The function mult has two floating point numbers as parameters and returns the result of multiplying them. Right, so I can multiply them. The function time inputs, okay. So if you can answer question 1 and first part of it, you should be able to. And from what I've told you in this one, right? So let's go on, Henrik. Let's make life a little bit more interesting. Let's write another function. Let's write another function that will do the processing for me, right? So number of boxes and the number of items left. I want to put this into a function. All right, Henrik?
Yes, indeed. Carry on.
Right, let's do that. Let's do that, right? So I'm going to say, oh, so I need a function that will return values now, right? I'm going to have a return function. I'm going to call it, and let's call this function. I've done it over here. I've done this function over here. Yes, last week I called it int, and I said return number times number. Remember this from last week's, Henrik?
I do, yes.
Yeah, so what we did last week also applies. So I'm going to say int, and I'm going to call this, let's give it a nice name. How's that, Henrik?
That's quite fine.
Yeah, right? So last week we called it cube. Last week we called it cube, and inside here we're going to have two parameters, right? We need two parameters because you must remember, in order to work out number of boxes, we got to say number of boxes and number of items. So there's my function that I'm going to, there's my processing that I'm going to have. Control X, I'm copying that out, cutting that out, and I'm putting it inside the function called Henrik, Control V, right? And I got to have a open curly bracket and a closed curly bracket. So there's my number of items out here, right? So now I'm showing you, and Henrik, I'm using two parameters, number of items and number of items that fits in the box. So Henrik,
yes,
I will have to call them up here, right? In my parameter heading, my function header, right? So I'm going to call up number of items, and I'm also going to call up an integer number of items fit in box, right? Because you know why I need to have this, Henrik? I need to have it because I'm using a computation out here, right? Remember last week I did this? Yeah, I said, now last week I said return number times n times n times n. So I'm going to do something similar to that now, right?
Okay.
I'm going to say, I'm going to make life easy for me. Return number of items divided by number of items that fits in a box. Right, Henrik?
Yes, Mr. Governor.
Right. So because this is what I did last week. Remember last week I did this thing, return?
I remember that, yes.
Right. So now let's see if this thing works. Now I call it up somewhere over here, right? I'm going to call up Henrik. Henrich, Henrik. And what am I passing across, Henrik? I'm passing across the number of items and the number of items that fits in a box.
Right.
Control C and Control V. So this is modular programming, Henrik, right? Modular programming in that I'm giving you the work to do, Henrik. You are the expert in calculating the number of items that divide by the number of items that fits in a box. Okay? So you are the module, you are the function, you're not the main man. The main man is in line number 37. But all you can do is take the number of items, which is 30, and you divide it by 7, and you're going to get the answer of 4.
Right? Yes.
Right? So there we go, right? So Henrik is the function that does the processing. We haven't done leftover as yet, but in programming, it's always nice to do one thing, test it, check if it works, right? Let's compile it. It says, int Henrik, the number of items that fits in a box was not declared. Number of items fit in a box. Number of items fit in a box. Number of items fit in a box. Return a number of items.
I think I see the problem, Mr. Governor.
Yeah.
In the int number of items fit in box in line 31,
Yeah.
the O is a lowercase.
Ooh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Right. Thank you very much. Let's build and run. Yeah, I did that on purpose, Hendrik. You know why? You've got to pay attention and you got to make sure that your variable name, you don't confuse the O and the 0. If you believe me. Right. Thank you, Hendrik. Thank you, Hendrik. Let's
Okay.
build and run. Let's build and run. Let's see if it works. Yes. So it's the first function is working. It says, please enter the number of items. Hendrik, I'm thinking of a number, an integer number between 29 and 31.
I suppose we'll have to go with 30 there.
Oh, okay, great. Hendrik, I'm thinking of a number between 6 and 8, an integer.
I'm not entirely sure about this one, but it's probably going to have to be 7.
I also think so, 7, right? Let's see if it works. Yay! Ooh, boy, Hendrik, look at this one, Hendrik. The number of boxes required is 72088836. Number of items left over is, ooh, Hendrik.
A little bit of a problem there.
Yeah, a bit of a problem there, Hendrik, I think I'm going to solve this problem with the ampersand in front of it.
Okay.
Right, let's solve the problem with this one here, right? Let's solve the problem with it. Let's see if this solves the problem. Right? Because it solved the problem before, Hendrik.
So it should work now, yes?
I don't know. Let's see. Let's try. Build and run. Hendrik again. 30.
All right, 30 items.
And 7.
Yes, indeed.
Ooh, Hendrik. Doesn't seem to give me the number of boxes required.
Not
That
this
doesn't
time.
No. Okay, Hendrik, this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to force an answer, right? So inside here, I'm going to have answer, right? And I'm going to say answer is equal to, I'm going to see, I'm trying to test, I'm doing debugging now. I'm finding out what the problem is. Control X. Control V, right? So I'm going to say, let's see what happens here now, right? So I'm going to say, right. Let's see. It gives me return answer. Let's see if that will help me. By the way, anyone can chip in, right? See that, there we go, right? So it seems to be okay. It says number of boxes hasn't used, right? I'm just going to see what it displays, right? The value of answer inside Hendrik function is, this is debugging Hendrik, right?
Right.
Right. So let's compile that. It says, hey, it's okay. Let's run this program again. Build and run. Hendrik 37. Ooh, right. Let's see. The value of answer inside Hendrik is 4. The number of items is 30. Hendrik, can you see that? Inside the function, it seems to work. It gives me the right answer. It's 4, right? So now I know, Hendrik, that the answer is coming out there, right? So I'm going to store this. You know where I'm calling Hendrik? Where am I calling Hendrik? There we go. I'm calling Hendrik out here. Right? I'm going to call it out there. And I'm going to call it with the value. Value is equal to Hendrik. I'm getting the answer of 4 because I know it comes out as 4. Because I'm using value out here, I've got to declare value there. And this also ties in with the definition of a function, right? And can you see Hendrik? I'm going to, instead of calling up Hendrik, I'm going to call up there. I'm going to call up value. Let's see. The number of boxes required is value. VALUE, because value takes on whatever Hendrik is. And I know from what I've done right now is it pulls out the number 4, right? Or I could have displayed it out here. I'm going to do that as well now, right? But for now, let's see if I get the right answer. Let's build and run it. 37. The number of boxes required is
4. There we go. Very well done. Yes.
Thank you. So, by the way, Hendrik, I've been doing programming for a number of years, and I learned so much by the mistakes I make, right? Or the learning process, right? So, Hendrik, if I don't want to use the word value, I could have had a C out statement in here where I'm displaying Hendrik, but it's always nice programming practice to call on a function like Hendrik, right?
Okay. So it's
So
just better to all right.
Yep. All right, so let's do number of items left over, right? So we're going to say left over. So now, Hendrik, I'm going to ask for your help. So we know how to find out the value for that's, we're going to use this function, Hendrik, and we're going to write another function to give me the number of items that is left over. So 30 divided by 7, we said was 4, remainder 2. And Luwambwa, are you still there with us? Are you still with us? Lenwabo, this was your program. Lenwabo. Okay, anybody else? Come on. Okay, I'm going to call this function Prinavin.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, right? So Lenwabo is not here, no one's here. I'm going to call him Prinavin. Prinavin has 2 parameters, right? Just like the function, just like the assignment question. It says Prinavin has two parameters, right?
Yes.
2 parameters: int number of items, int number of items fit in box, right? So 2 parameters, and let's make them reference parameters. Okay, Hendrik, you know that ampersand in front of them, right? Because we want the value to be passed out to the main program, right? There's the ampersand there. There's the ampersand. You'll have lots of reading up to do about functions, right? And the reference parameters and what's a value parameter.
Okay.
So there's my open curly bracket and my close curly bracket. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to take it from here, right, Hendrik? That leftover is equal to number of items modulus number of items that's fit in a box. Control X. So then I won't have the issues about the O off and the 0 and the small and all of that, right? Control V. So there's the leftover is equal to number of items modulus number of items that fits in a box. So just like I had out here, Hendrik, I had in line number 32, I had answer. By the way, answer is given a special name. It's called a local variable, right? It's local. It's localized to lines number 33, 34, right? It's used inside Hendrik. Okay? So I'm going to also have another local variable over here. I'm going to call him left over. Oh, by the way, Hendrik, it's also a good idea to initialize variables. We spoke about this the other day. Yeah, so let's make them equal to 0, right? For fun's sake. I give my students like half a mark or 1 mark for that, right? All right, so I know this works because I've just done it, right? And I'm going to say return leftover. Right? And guess what, Hendrik? I'm copying it safe from the top over there. That's where I've done it there, right? I've done the same thing. Now that I've got a function, let's call the function by its name. Just like how I call it over here, value, Hendrik, in line 52, I'm going to call it out here, right? Let's give it another name, value or value 2, right? We got value center in Durban. Let's call it value 2. Value 2, I'm calling the function by its name, Prinavin, and I need to pass across number of items and the number of items that fits in a box, because that's what I need to do the processing of the computation. We cheat a little bit. I'm going to go to Prinavin on the top. And there it is there. There's the 2 parameters. One's let's go to copy that. Let's go and paste that there. Okay, I don't need all these things here. I don't need the word int in there. I do that in my function header. I don't need that. And there we go, right? So now I'm calling the function Prinavin, and whatever answer I get from the function, by the way, this is the definition of a function, Henrik. It only gives you one value coming out of it, right?
Okay, and that
Okay,
value will be
value
called
two.
value 2.
Yeah,
Right.
that's why I'm going to be called value 2, right? So the number of items is not left over, but it's called value 2. VALUE, value 2, right? So let's see if it works out, right? So I've got two functions. One is called Henrik. Oh, in fact, three. I've got one called read in. And this is no, and I've got one called Henrik, and I've got one called Prinavin. Three functions we did so far, right? So I got three functions, and I'm calling it, and maybe I'll have another one called output. What do you say, Henrik? You know, to display all of
May as well.
print out. Yeah, me as well, right? Let's just make it look pretty. It says inline number of items, and it's got another inline, and let's put down the inline over here, right? ENDL. Right, just to make it look pretty, the output. That's all. Then nothing special. Right. Okay. Let's compile this. Let's compile this. Compiling since okay. Value 2 was not declared in the scope. Ooh, that's because I never declared. Yeah, I didn't declare it.
Oh yes.
Int VALUE value 2. Right. Let's go and build and run it. Compile it again. Unused variable number of boxes left over. Okay. Right, it says we haven't used number of items and we haven't got unused. All right, let's just run it and see what happens, right? Pretty please enter in a number of items is 30, and the number that will fit in the box is 7. The value of answer inside Henrik is 4. The number of items is 30. Yay! By the way, Henrik, we don't need the value of answer inside Henrik anymore, right? I'm going to take that out, right?
I suppose not.
Yeah, let's just take it out, right? We just use that to check. That's a debugging technique that I use, and not only me, other programmers as well. We find out what's going on inside the function, right? We can find out what it is. So now, Henrik, let's go here. Let's go and take that line out. We don't need that one here. Right? And there's my, hey, I've got a function called Henrik. I've got a function called Prinavin. And let's make one more function to make our life a little easier. See all these output statements here, Henrik?
I see them, yes.
Yeah, all these output statements, right? Let's put that into a function, right? So I'm going to go up here. Let's go up there. And I'm going to call this function, let's call this a void function, not really giving us anything. The display, let's call it display 1. And am I passing anything across? I'm not sure right now. Let's just go and see what I need to pass out. Pass there, and it's got, I'm just doing a copy and paste. Control X, I'm taking that out. Let's do one step at a time. Control V, so there's my function. And oh, I need number of items that fits in a box because I'm displaying it out there. So let's go and call it int number of items, comma, int number of items fit in box, right? Now, Henrik, let's go. If you're not sure whether it's a reference parameter or a value parameter, Henrik, just make it all reference parameters. That's what I say, right? Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not sure. If you're not sure, just make it a reference parameter. Yeah? And there's my answer here, right? So can you see there's no computations taking place out here, right? There's nothing.
No, just displaying.
I'm just displaying it, like what's happening in this void, in this reading story, right? I'm just displaying it kind of, right? So let's go and compile it. What's the story? What's the mistake here? What's the error? It says unused variable, unused variable. Oh, we're going to use it just now. We're going to use it now. See what the number of items is. Number of items. Will it build and run? Nope. It says something is missing there. Unused variable, number of boxes left over. Let's go and pull that there. Number of items. Number of items, number of, oh, display one. I'm not calling display one. I'm not calling display one. Right?
Oh no.
Display, DIS, display one. Right? Just like how I called it up reading over here. Can you see reading? I called it up there.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm going to call him up here, right? That's why it says unused. Control C. I need to copy that. And Control V. All right, so now I'm calling him up here. Okay, I didn't do the other display, right? But I'm just making life more. I want to put in, I'm going to call it display 2 just now. Let's compile it. And what's the error now? What's the error now? It says unused variable display, void display, number of items is, number of items it fits in a box. C out, comma, void, display 1, value 2, value 2, value, is it value 1 or value 2? Display 1, value 2. Henry, check out, check. Here's the error it gives me. It says the function int unused variable number of boxes.
I see, yes.
Number of boxes and left over. Number of items fits in a box. Display. Henrik.
Number of items if it's in a box.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do some debugging again. Let's go to debugging again. I'm going to see debugging. Let's take that line out. Debugging. And let's see what it does now. Compile it. It says number of items. C out. Void display 1. How come it works here, Henrik? Read in int num. Number of items fits in a box. E out. The number of items. Void display. No. Void display 1. Let's see leftover. Leftover is number of items, fits in a box. Let's take out this function. I made that into a comment statement, right? So that's a comment statement. So it should ignore this. The compiler should ignore it.
Okay, yes.
I'm trying to figure out what the problem is. And compile that. Right, it says, oh, it's fine. It likes that. So we know that the error is somewhere in here, right? Let's build and run this thing. It's not going to work. Let's go quickly. 30 and 7. The number of boxes required is 4. The number of items left over is 2. That's correct. That's correct. Right. So let's go and see what's wrong with display. What's wrong with display? Int number of items. I know this is a weird thing to do, but sometimes the compiler likes, see that on the top it worked fine, void read in int number of items. I'm gonna cheat a little, Hendrik, but I know that works finally, right? I'm gonna copy that.
Right.
Control C, I'm gonna copy that. Just paste that out here. Control V, I'm gonna call this not read in. All right, read into read out, right? And I'm gonna just make that into a, let's see, where I call read in, and I'm gonna say, I call that read in, Control C, Control V, and I'm calling that read out, right?
Right.
I'm just testing to see. I mean, the other function worked fine. Why isn't this working, right? Let's go compile it. Hey, it seems okay. Let's run this program. 30, and I've got 7. Pretty please enter the number of it called up that function. It called up that function, right? It called up that function. So now I'm gonna change this into C out. And I'm gonna change that into C out. And I'm gonna say, oh, it's the wrong one I said, right? Put in a box. Change that to change this to a C out. And let's just compile this. It should be okay. C out, missing terminator. Oops, sorry. Compile. And let's run this program, build and run. Yay, 37. The number of items is 30 now, 15 box is 7. The number later, there we go.
Very good.
It baffles me, right? So I don't need this display anymore. I don't know what this display was doing. I can't figure out what's this error yet. Similar things like that. Right. So now I know my read out works. Okay, did I copy it wrong? All right. So let's see what I've done. I've called up a function called read in. I'm going to take that out because reading is a nice word to say. I'm going to take out processing. I don't need that comment. I don't need that comment because we know how to work it. I'm taking that out. And I'm taking display out. Can you see how my main program becomes nice and modular?
Yes, it does.
It's nice and modular, yeah, right? Nice and modular. I could have even taken this and put it into a function as well, right? I could have done that as well, copy that and put it into a function, right? Right, but I'm going to leave that for now. Let's leave 1 or 2 extra. So it's now 10 past 1. Henrik, this is what I've done with the program. It was Lenwabo had asked a question from lesson 4, and he spoke about how do you do the question, what's the strategy, and I showed them input processing output. Then it was Henrik that came and asked me, hey, listen here, I need to answer this question from assignment 2, question 1 about the functions. How do I write a function with parameters in it? With 2, 1 would be integer, 1 would float. And I've taken the same question that Lenwabo had given me, and I wrote out functions for it. So, and the function that I wrote out for Henrik was, which y'all mustn't use my name and all of that now, Henrik, Prinavin, and read out. But it's nice to if you want to. And in each function, I did a particular mathematical operation, and that came from lesson 1, 2, 3. By the way, we've gone on to lesson 17, 18, 19, basically, because we're using reference parameters. And we're using value parameters, or not in this case, but we should have used some value parameters. We've looked at how I call a function. This really is kind of a procedure that we're calling out here, right? I showed you two ways of doing it, and I've called out, and I'm so happy that gave me the right answer, right? For fun, for homework, whatever, you can go and copy this and put this into a function. Henrik, right?
Okay.
Right? And you can call it readout2 or display2, or even if you wanted to, you could have called it up inside here. But it's sometimes nice just to have small little things, right? We don't need this 30 and 7 and all of that. That's just to help us to answer the question. Okay.
Okay.
The other people on the
Thank you very
call,
much.
anybody has a question? Okay, you're welcome, Henrik. The other people on the call, anybody with a question, query regarding?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Yes, who is that? Is that Lenwabo?
It's Moses.
Moses! Hey, Moses, why didn't you disturb me and say hello, how are you and all of that, Moses?
I'm so sorry, sir. Today I
No.
didn't get a chance to highlight
That's okay,
you.
that's okay. Last week we spent over an hour with you sorting out your code blocks. Please tell me it's working.
It's working perfectly, so thanks, sir.
I'm happy for you. Right, quickly, question.
I wanna ask, where could one get previous assignments like this ones that we are attempting right now, so that
you can get it from me. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, so I have lots of past year assignments. But why do you want to do that, Moses, if I may ask? Why do you want past year assignments?
I wanna practice more because I've been getting challenges there and there. So
okay.
I wanna.
How about this?
Yeah.
How about this? Right, this is my strategy. You
No problem.
practice with all the exercises that they have in the study guide. At the end of each lesson, there's lots of exercises, right?
Yeah.
And you practice and practice and practice with that. You practice with last year's exam paper. I've posted last year's exam paper on. There's it out here. It's under my modules, right?
Okay, sir.
Right. So you practice with that because assignment questions will help you pass here. But I just feel doing this for so many years, ma'am tends to look at previous papers, the format, and right. So there it is out there. I've posted it, right? Additional resources.
I can see them, sir. Yes.
You can see them. Okay. Right.
Yes,
So you
yes.
go and there's the previous exam papers there, right?
Yes.
Right. So you look at those previous exam papers. But Moses, my advice is concentrate on the examples in the lessons.
Indeed.
And
Okay.
past your paper, you're not ready for that as yet. Okay.
Okay, sir.
In my opinion, if you think last week we just sorted it out, right?
Okay, no problem.
Right.
Thanks for the advice.
Okay. Thank you, Moses, for that question. I'll copy this and I'll paste this into Control C. I'll paste this into our WEB, our WhatsApp channel, right? Hendrik, would you like that, Hendrik? I'll post it inside there. And you better put a heart there, Hendrik.
Okay.
All right, you better put a heart because you asked me that question. Oopsie, where's that question? Where's that question? How do I move this? I gotta move that bar, right? Control V. Right. So there we go. There we go. There's you can just add some comments about the what I'm gonna say at HENRIC at HENRIC at Hendrik. Oh, I don't have your number saved. Should have. At Hendrik and at Lenwabo, LENWABO, will ask the question. Please explain what we did. Right? Okay. All right. And I'll post this recording in the next hour or so.
Okay.
All right. Oh yes, please watch the recordings. You'll watch my recordings on YouTube. Go to my YouTube channel. I posted that out there. There's my recordings. Where's my recordings? Where's my recordings? View my channel. View your channel. Yay! Right? Oh, I must change that because it keeps on playing that, right? So go and look at my. Where's my playlist? Right? You will look at for C++ and should be somewhere here. Hendrik, please tell me you saw my videos. There we
One
go.
or two.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let me see how many views did I get on this video. Let me see if I can compete with people like. Hey, you heard that? That was last week's. Hendrik, you were on last week's work, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Right. So you got to go and listen to yourself there. Right. Okay. If there's no other questions, can we call it a day?
Well, it's all fine from my side, Mr. Governor. I'd just like to say thank you very much.
No, you're more than welcome. I'm glad you learned something in the last hour or so, even if it is a strategy on how to tackle programming task, right? Input, processing, output. We call it the IPO strategy, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're
Good day
welcome.
to you
You're
all.
welcome. And anybody else?
Thank you, Prof.
Lenwabo?
Thank you.
Lenwabo? You still there, Lenwabo? I'm going to stop the recording so that I don't want to become too. Stop the recording. Stop the recording. Ooh, we forgot our class photograph. Hey, come on. Put your camera on. Class photo. Class photo. Yay. Right. Hey, there's Henrik. There's the class photo. Right. Let's take a class photo. Right. Let's smile and get ready. Get ready. Smile. Oops. That was one more time. Let me do it one more time. Newsner. Yay, I got him. I got him. Let's see. Yes. Right.
Thank you, Prof. Have a
You're
good
welcome.
day.
You're welcome. Hey, I'm not prof yet, man. Still just PhD. Right. Okay. You're gonna check. Go to our WhatsApp and check our class photo. Which other teacher allows you to keep your WhatsApp open? Right. Right. Oh, I should have. Next week, I'll talk to you about online GDB. I posted this. I'm not sure if any of you are interested in learning online GDB. All right. Okay. Right. Can we call it a day? And if there's no more questions, we're going to call it a day.